So, if you watched my last video, you will know that I finished my sketchbook after 7 long years. So, that means today we finally get to start a new sketchbook. My first new sketchbook in 7 years. I've always found the first page of having a sketchbook to be a little intimidating. For some reason, it feels like I've got to make it some kind of masterpiece. It feels like it's got to be absolutely perfect and worthy of being a first page in a sketchbook. And I think it's especially prominent now because this is the first time I'm starting a new sketchbook in 7 years. This is a very big moment for me. I want this sketchbook to be a new start for my art journey. I want it to be full of new and better things than my previous sketchbooks have been. So let's not waste any more time and let's get straight into the sketch. So initially this artwork was gonna be sketched traditionally. I wanted to do some traditional sketching. However, I didn't have a solid idea, and even though I was thinking about maybe doing some traditional thumbnails, I just couldn't commit to any idea. I kept thinking about if I wanted her, I don't know, sitting at a desk drawing with like pencils or an easel painting. I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and so I ended up doing it digitally just because I thought that allows me a lot more wiggle room to play around with the idea, try some things a bit new. I felt a lot of pressure to have this page be good, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, fellow artists, will understand this pressure. The first page of your sketchbook always feels like it's going to be the best page of the sketchbook, which it probably never will be, because if you've done an entire sketchbook of artwork, you've probably learned a lot and grown quite a bit since the first page, but it just feels like such a big deal. And since it was the first time in 7 years that I was doing like the first page of a sketchbook, I was feeling the pressure a little bit. So I ended up doing it digitally. I knew I wanted this page to represent what the rest of the sketchbook was going to be. In previous sketchbooks, I've had a lot of pages that were very blank and bare, and there wasn't a lot on it, and I've never really pushed myself or done interesting concepts. It's always just kind of been a character standing there, not necessarily doing a lot. There's a lot of white space around them, and I want to change that in the sketchbook. I want to make sure every page is filled as it can be. Not to say that every page will be coloured from top to bottom, but I definitely want each page to be a little better thought out, to have more to it. And with this, I definitely pushed myself a little bit with the easel, and it took quite a while to get the position right for it. I felt like I was using the adjustment tool quite a lot, so I'm kind of glad I did it digitally in the end. But I really like how it came out. I love the hair. I don't usually do hair like that, and I think it looks so nice. I love the border that I did. I'm really happy with it. I think it turned out exactly how I would have liked it to. Okay, so I'm gonna do the line art now. I don't know if I'll film it, but I did want to show you guys that I got a new line art pens. These are Copic multi-liners, which I've never tried before, but I have heard good things, and they are built for specifically alcohol markers, so they should be good. If they're not, I will be pretty unhappy, but I have high hopes anyway. So we've got a good range. We've got a 3, we've got a 5, we've got a 1, and we've got a 0, 5 as well. So we've got quite a lot of options here. I'm probably going to default to the 3 most likely. They're also not black. These are a brown line art pen, because I did say to you guys I wanted to move away from doing just black line art all the time and experiment with more colors. I would like to experiment with maybe some pencils and stuff as well in the future, but for now I'm going to stick with line art. I'm going to try out these new Copic multi-liners. First thing that I'm noticing about these line art pens is that they don't seem as inky as the ones I've previously been using, which is really good. It gives me faith that they won't bleed. I like the color so far. It's nice. It's a nice light brown. The pen itself feels like really high quality. It feels like it's like running along the page a lot smoother than previous line art pens as well, which is nice. It feels like I have more control over the pen because the ink isn't spilling out so quickly. Okay, so I finished the line art. I think I'm gonna go in with a bit of a thicker pen, like maybe this 5, and clean up some edges. I did use a thinner pen than what I'm used to, and when I took off the light box and put the light book on, I was like, oh wow, this is very, very shaky. A lot of the lines are a bit messy. So I think I'm gonna go in and do a bit of cleanup. I did really like these pens. I really like the color of it for a start, but I also really like just how controllable they were. I think the control on them was a lot better because they weren't just like, you know, pouring out ink onto the page. So I felt like I had more control, but it definitely felt different than using the pens that I'm used to using, so that might take a bit of getting used to, but no, I really did like it. I'm gonna go in, thicken up some lines, clean up some lines, and I'll get back to you in a bit. What can I say about these line art pens? They are so much better than what I was previously using. It kind of makes me wonder why it took so long to actually try new line art pens, despite the fact the old ones I was using were smudging quite a lot, and it was bleeding when I was using them with alcohol markers. I guess at some point I just accepted this is how it was. Maybe it's because my standards before I started doing digital art weren't as high as what they are these days. It has been a long time since I was doing traditional art regularly, and it was like my main medium that I was using, but since I've come back I've realized my standards are definitely a lot different than what they used to be when I just drew for fun. I mean, I still draw for fun, but I also draw because I want to be better, whereas I feel like before I went with digital art, I definitely was just drawing for the heck of it and not necessarily wanting to. I wanted to get better, but I wasn't willing to put in the effort and do like real anatomy studies and really learn how to color in. I was just kind of doing it, and that's completely fine, but my standards have changed and I don't want to be that way anymore. I definitely care more about how things look. These pens, the ink, it was just so good. It was drying like as soon as it hit the paper, even when I was thickening up the line art, as you can see here. Usually this would be when the ink starts smudging, like if my hand rests on it and I move my hand, the ink would smudge. It was doing none of that. It was drying instantly, and I'm really happy because these pens were like £15, which I guess isn't a lot. £15 for 4 pens isn't like the worst, but I usually pay a lot less than that, and I guess that's just what happens when you cheap out on art supplies. Cheap art supplies can be good, definitely, but I do notice a difference in this case. I have never actually thought to get different colored line art pens. I've always just used black, and this brown color, oh, it's so soft. It's so nice. It just makes the artwork look so soft, and I love it. I think maybe because it's a lighter color though, I was kind of noticing that a lot of the lines looked way shakier than they usually do, and I'm wondering if that's because, one, these pens are less inky, but 2, because it's a lighter color, so maybe it's just more obvious where like the shakiness is coming from. I don't know if that would be the case, but I was definitely noticing the shaky lines a lot more this time around, but when I was thickening up the line art, it was helping it quite a lot. This is another reason why I like to thicken up my line art in some areas, because it really helps to hide the shakiness of the lines. It also adds depth as well. So, but yeah, these line art pens, I'm definitely going to default to using these line art pens. They are so good. Okay, there we go. It's looking a lot neater now. One thing I've noticed with these pens as well, even though I was thickening the lines up, it was drying really quickly, whereas with the other pens that I used to use, this was the kind of style of pen I used to use, High Tech Point V7. I didn't used to use these ones because these ones are quite thick, but I used to use the V5 ones. I always liked them when I used to do traditional art, like, you know, back in 2019 or whatever, 2018, but since coming back, I've just realized they're not doing the job anymore. I'm definitely seeing a big difference with these. I'll be honest, I haven't actually thought the colors through. I actually have no idea what I want the colors to look like. So I'm probably gonna have to plan that out a little bit before I just go ahead and slap some colors onto a canvas. Oh, you know what? I never, for some reason, draw characters with like a really colorful hair. Maybe we should make her hair like pink. That'd be so cute. Maybe we should make it really colorful and just really go for it. Okay, so I went back onto the digital version and I decided to map out the colors because I wasn't really sure what I wanted to do, but I'm thinking I'm pretty happy with this. I have done, so when I was doing the colors on the outside, I wasn't sure what I wanted the colors to be. I didn't know if I wanted them to be like a pattern or just like certain colors, like maybe primary colors or something like that. But then as I was doing it, I was just kind of doing the blue, then doing the blue, and I was like, okay, let's do the green, and I was like, oh wait, this would be a really cool, it's like the color wheel. So I literally just went around the whole color wheel and just added it in. So that's what it's kind of representing. And I think that's such a cool idea. I'm not sure about the red shirt, to be honest, or the red headband. I don't know if it's clashing too much because she's got darker skin tone, she's got like brown pants. I'm wondering if maybe it's a little too much, but then I was also thinking if I did like a blue or a green, it might blend in with this too much. So I'm not sure about that. I might change it, but I do really like it. I think it's really colorful. It's something different. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. I think I just might play with the color of her a little bit more, like her shirt and stuff. I don't know, I've been kind of going back and forth on this, on whether the blue or the red looks better. I think both look good. I'm just not sure which one to go with. So we've got like that version or like this version. I think I actually do prefer, no, I think the red looks better. I think it kind of ties it all in. I think I'm going to start with her first. What skin tone? We want a bit of a darker skin tone, so I'm wondering what colors would be good for that. Maybe like a praline and a saddle brown for the darker areas, or yeah, I don't really have a lot of skin tone options to be honest. Unless I'm going very dark, but there's no like, not super light but not super dark. I don't really have any in-between colors, but maybe like a praline and a burnt sienna, or a praline and a saddle brown. The saddle brown might warm it up, give it some warmer undertones. I think this color would be pretty nice. For the hair, I'm thinking maybe like an 8 or a 7. Oh, the 7 looks really nice actually. Let's do the 7. Okay, I've got the first couple of colors selected. Let's just make a start. I think I might actually, something that I haven't done in the past, which I think I want to start doing, is taking maybe a page out of the book so I can do swatches. I think it's good, it'll be good for me to have a spare sheet of paper that I can just do the swatches on, because sometimes I'm not sure how things are going to blend together. So I think I'm gonna take this out of the back of the book. Oh, it does not want to come out. Come on. Okay, wow. No, it doesn't want to come out. Okay. I ripped it. It's got a seam down it, but the seam's like really strong for some reason. Okay, well, it doesn't really matter. It's just a swatch page, but I think this will be really good for testing the swatches on, because for the skin tone especially, I'm not really sure how it's gonna look. So this is gonna help me quite a lot. Not sure about that one. Let's try maybe the burnt sienna. Not the burnt sienna, this is saddle brown. Saddle brown with the 25. Okay, that looks a lot better than that does. This is why I need a swatch page, because that looks very, very grey, and it looked fine. I don't know why, but swatches sometimes look fine when they're like this. When you put them together with other colors, it doesn't work out. But I think that's still a little too light though. Have I got any other colors I could potentially use? I don't think I do. Maybe we just want to go darker altogether. Maybe that's the way to go. So this is 97 with the saddle brown. Okay, yeah, that looks a lot better. That looks a lot better. Okay, that's what I want. Let's also test to see if the red colors, the pink colors, sorry, will go together. That's quite vibrant, but we blend it. Let's see what happens. No, I do like that actually. It is a bit darker than I thought, but I think when I add the highlights in as well, it should look really nice. Let's make a start. I think I'm definitely gonna have to invest in some more markers. I know you can layer markers to get different effects, but I feel like I'm too often finding myself not having the colors that I want, and I think it would be nice to change that. I currently have 100 Ohuhu markers. I do technically have more, but they're from 2016, and when I tried them, all of them are dried up, so those are out of commission now. So I have 100 Ohuhu markers, I have a couple of Winsor & Newton markers, and I think like 32 Copic markers. Not a whole lot, all things considered, so I definitely want to invest in some more. I'd definitely be interested in trying the Ohuhu brush markers. I've heard good things and that they're a really good cheap alternative to Copics, so I'd be I've always liked Ohuhus anyway, so I don't have no doubt I like them. I really enjoyed coloring the hair. For some reason I never think to color in hair in like a fun color. I always just default to like blonde or brown or black, sometimes red, but this was a really nice out there color, and I think it fit in very well with the theme of the picture, which you know is artsy, it's colorful. I really like how it came out, but I just was having those issues of like not finding the right shades. I think it's hard though, because when you do the digital version of it, I can get exactly the shade that I want, and then when I do the traditional version, it's not exactly the same shade. Obviously, I think even if I had 500 markers, I still wouldn't be able to find the exact same shade. So I think I kind of set myself up with expectations that shouldn't be there, which I guess is a downfall of doing it digitally first. But I also can't complain because I really like how it was coming out so far. I was trying to get like a really muted red, which I don't have, and I was trying to mix colors together and I was trying to figure it out, and I feel like maybe, I don't know, I think the color that I ended up with, one, looks too bright, two, it really blends in with her hair. So I think I might just have to use a white gel pen to like kind of separate it, but I'm really not sure what to do for the shirt now. I was really hoping for more of like a muted color, but it's not turning out that way. But it's okay, because we can fix it. I'm really liking the brown gel pen look. Like, ooh, look at how nice that looks. I love that. We could also maybe go over it again with like the line art pen. We could go over again with the line art pen, and we can make the borders a bit thicker so it looks a bit more separate from the hair. Maybe we'll just have to go a different color completely. Maybe we'll just have to go like a darker red. Maybe that's what we need to do. Maybe we just need to go a darker red completely. Just embrace the dark side, if you will. And we'll go a dark red, because I think this is looking too close to her skin color. It's not looking how I wanted. I think it's blending in too much. Oh, I don't hate that either. What I might do is, what might help me, is to color the rest of it. Completely just color the rest of it, and then maybe I'll be able to see how it looks in comparison to the colors around it. I think it'll help me get a clue as to what the rest of it's gonna look like, and if it is blending in a little too much, I can change it. I think if we make her pants a brown as well, if we do want to change it to a darker red, it should pretty much look, it should look pretty good still. I feel like the shirt debacle really just backs up my point of like, I don't have enough markers, or it feels like I have so many, but I don't, I guess, in comparison to like maybe some other artists. Most artists will have like 200 or 400 markers, maybe more than that. Some people have the entire Copic collection. I have like 100, and I think, yes, while you can, use markers, you can blend them to create different colors and shades, and I definitely agree with that. I also think that the range of colors I have isn't great, so I'll definitely be looking to change that very soon. The paper did help me though when it came to like blending and shading and understanding how the colors would look before putting them on the page, so I think I'm gonna start doing this a little more often. But even with that, I think I still struggled quite a lot to get the shades that I was after, like the easel and the paint palette. I want it to be a bit of a lighter brown. I like how it came out though, so it's not like a bad thing, but I probably, if I had the colors, I would have made it a bit of a lighter brown. I just didn't have any. It feels like I've got a lot of colors that are very similar. Like I have a few dark browns and I have a few dark reds, but I don't really have any, really light reds or really light browns. So I think investing in some new markers will definitely be in my future. The shirt, however, looking back at it now that it's editing Abby, I'm kind of looking at this and I'm like, actually, it doesn't look too bad. I think the colors do blend in together, especially the hairband. I think I would like a little more contrast there, but I actually don't hate the orange shirt as much as I did when I was drawing this. I guess maybe it's just because I've not really drawn colourful hair before. Maybe I should have done a blue colour, but like I said, with the colour wheel and the colour blue being directly behind her, I thought that might blend in a little too much, and I think it would have. So I don't know, it was a bit of a tricky one, but I definitely don't dislike how it came out. But I experimented, I tried. I think, I kind of like these challenges when it comes to traditional art. I kind of like going, oh, I'm not really sure what to do here, let's figure this out, rather than just being able to change it, because obviously if I put down a darker colour over the orange, I'm not going to be able to change it again. So I kind of like that. I like being a little more strategic with it, because I know that once it's done, I can't necessarily change it all the time, especially if it's a dark color. It's kind of why I always start with the light colors, because if you put a dark color on a light color, it'll be fine, but you can't really put a light color on a dark color, because that won't work. So here I am doing the color wheel, and honestly, this was where it kind of started all coming together for me, and I was like, okay, this is looking really good. I love the colors, I love the border, I really like how it kind of fills the page. I think it's so interesting. I just really love it. The colors are just so nice. I love the color wheel idea. I'm so glad that I came up with that. It looks so good. Ugh, I love it. Okay, so I have pretty much finished coloring. I may add some shadows to the paints, but I kind of did plan for them to be pretty flat because they are just kind of like a border, but I may add some depth to them anyway because I feel like even like the paint palette and stuff looking a little flat, but we can fix that. I'm definitely not too happy with the color of this shirt. I think it blends too much in with the hair and stuff, so I think I'm just gonna go in with a bold red and hope for the best. And yeah, I think a darker red will look a lot more contrasty, but it's still kind of a warm color. So hopefully it works out okay. I'm gonna use it on this headband first, and hopefully that looks good. Yeah, that looks a lot better. That does look a lot better to me, so I'm happy with that. I'm happy just to go ahead and do it as a dark red. I did also try it on my digital piece as well. I tried coloring it in a darker red to see if it would work, and I was quite happy with it. So yeah, let's give this a try and hope for the best. I think it'll complement the skin tone a little more as well, because I think the orange doesn't look very good. This shade of orange anyway, the lighter shade of orange, does not look very good with this particular skin tone. My hand slipped. I accidentally ruined that. Well, I think the red was a good call. It adds a little bit more contrast. I think it looks good against like the blue and the green. Yeah, I'm happy with it. Maybe I could have changed the brown pants a little bit, but I think it looks good together. I think it looks cute. I mean, the idea wasn't to make her outfit super interesting anyway, because when I was doing this, I was very well aware that not everyone, you know, paints in fancy clothes unless you're filming a reel. But if you're just painting for fun in your spare time, I can guarantee you no one's sitting there in fancy clothes. We're mostly just in like long t-shirts or jumpers. So that's kind of why I kept the clothes a little simple. I wanted to put her in an oversized shirt, kind of replicating what I would wear if I was doing some artwork, because if I'm sitting down to do art, you bet I'm gonna be in comfy clothes. I cannot sit there for like 6 hours or 7 hours or even 12 hours in uncomfy clothes doing artwork. I'll be too distracted. So the clothes weren't the main point of it. The main point was definitely the colors and the easel, but I really do like how it came out. I think it's really cute. But I think the red was a good choice. So I'm just adding some depth to the border here. I was gonna leave it kind of flat, but then I thought, it looks okay flat, but I think it would look better with some depth to it, with some highlights in the paint to make it look more like, you know, paint. I think beforehand it looked a little too flat, maybe a little, I don't want to say lazy, but it just felt like it just didn't feel complete. So I added the shadows to the paint and the highlights, and it did come out a lot better. And then I'm also adding in some highlights to the eyes and the hair. And this is my favorite part, guys. This is where I really feel like artworks really like start to come together, is when I add in the highlights. I feel like it just gets like a little bit of life to it. Whereas before, like her eyes, for example, look so dull until you add the highlights. It just makes her look more like vibrant and human. I love the highlight phase. Although I do tend to go a little overboard with it, which I'm trying to stop, but it's so hard. I love doing highlights. Okay, so we are done. I've done the highlights. I'm really happy with how it's looking, guys. I think it looks so good. I did try to go back and thicken up some of the line art and stuff, but it doesn't seem to make it look as crisp when you do it with like a black line art pen, because obviously black is a much darker color. But I have finished all the highlights. I think I'm super happy with how it looks. I've added depth to the border as well, which I think it definitely needed. I really like it. I think it's a good first page. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. What do you guys think? Oh, we need to put the date on, actually. What date is it today? It is the 24th of November. 24. So that marks the start of the sketchbook. I can't believe it. Finally, this is crazy. Like, this is the first time I've started a new sketchbook in forever. This page felt like it was going to be a really big deal because it's the first page of a sketchbook I've done in so long. It just felt like such a big moment. But I really like it. I think it's a good way to symbolize what's to come in this sketchbook, which is going to be a lot of painting, because I want to get into watercolors and gouache, and I want to try different mediums, and I want to experiment with colors and learning a lot. So I think this is a good first page to show what this sketchbook is going to be about, and I'm really happy with it. I even like the border being the color wheel. I love that detail there. So yes, I am very happy with it, and for the first time in 7 years, I've started a new sketchbook. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see what other pages are gonna come in the sketchbook, how much my art will grow throughout the duration of this sketchbook. That's kind of something I always think about with every sketchbook, is like I can't wait to get to like the last page and for like to see how far I've come, because I know when I finish the sketchbook I'm gonna come back to this page and I'm gonna be like, whoa, really? That was the best I could do? I've come so far. And I'm not saying this is bad. It's just, you grow and you come back to things and you're like, whoa, I can see, like, you know, I would have done this differently and this isn't how I do things anymore. My art style may change. I just love thinking about that, like the final page, and how much I could grow as an artist throughout the duration of this sketchbook. I just think it's such a nice little like thought. I just love it. What do you guys think? Do you guys like this page? Do you think it's a good first page of the sketchbook? I love all the colors. It's so nice. It's so colorful. So after 7 long years, I have finally started another sketchbook and I'm so excited. If you guys like this video, then please make sure to subscribe to follow me along on my art journey. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!